Thank you, sir. You've got two cases in front of us today. They are in numerical order, case 1806052, State of Michigan versus Terrell DeVault, and case 21, looks like 056861, State versus Terrell DeVault. Counsels.
Good morning, Your Honor. Samuel A. Ragnan, P23-157 on behalf of the people.
Judge, I don't think we've interviewed Mr. DeVault yet. We haven't interviewed him, right?
We did interview him. We just didn't hear back about bonds. So let me grab that.
Okay, I'm sorry, Judge. Shava Kirkland, PA4015 on behalf of Mr. DeVault, who has been advised of his rights, wishes to stand mute and waive the formal reading.
Thank you. Court will enter not guilty plea in both cases. There is a remand capias in each file. And if you know who signed those remands, counsel.
Your Honor, I do not. I thought Judge Giles might have been on one, but I don't know.
Judge, I have here Judge Shilinsky.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm not sure if that's right. That's just what I have.
Okay, that apparently is correct. All right, as to bond, please.
Well, Your Honor, obviously we want the remand to stay in effect. I was going to ask for a cash bond as well. The defendant is $147,000, $828 in arrears for federal reimbursement. He's also $47,731 in arrears. He has 4 cases with the friend of the court. He fails to appear multiple times on these cases when asked to do so. So he has a number of capias bonds in the past. He also, Your Honor, didn't even show up to the front of the court on 12/20/23 when he had an appointment to go down to discuss these matters. So since the remand's in place, we're asking obviously that it stay in. Thank you.
Judge, obviously, I would love to make an argument to modify these to personal bonds, especially because they are, failure to pay child support cases. These are non-assaultive cases. However, I understand that these are felonies and that Your Honor does not have the jurisdiction to change these bonds. So I just request redetermination.
Well, I don't think
so there's no redeterminations in remand. Mr. Ragnar, there's no redeterminations on remands. What are the amounts of the arrearages in these cases?
Well, in the case that's before the court today, Your Honor, that particular case is $42,026. And he was supposed to pay $152 a month in child support from back on 11/17/2003, but he doesn't pay and he doesn't show up. So he was given initially an $11,000, I believe, bond at one point on 5/18/20. That was changed to a capias bond of $100 cash on 5/31/21. 1/17/24 fails to appear. Then he got a $25,000 personal bond. So a vicious circle on these cases, and he just keeps going over and over. Doesn't show up and doesn't support his child. I mean, if you looked up the picture of the word of deadbeat dad in the dictionary, I believe this would be the gentleman's picture that's in it because he doesn't support his children. Thank you.
Defense counsel, okay, so I see 2 capiases in the 18 file and 1 capias in the 21 file. Counsel, what can you tell me to show me this gentleman is going to show up?
Thank you, Your Honor. He is a lifelong resident and has 6 children. And despite what Brother Counsel just stated, just because someone does not pay child support does not mean they're not supporting their children in other ways. He does have 2 jobs. He's a chef and also has a fiance who is very sick with lupus that he also cares for. So he has a lot going on. Strong ties to the community. He has a bachelor's degree in business communication. So the amount that he owes is a lot. He has 2 jobs. They're not necessarily jobs that pay a whole bunch, but he has 6 children and a lot that he owes. So I don't necessarily know that means that he's a deadbeat dad, but I'd ask the court to allow him another opportunity to show up. I would not object to a tether because I understand the court's concern with regard to showing up to court. However, I don't believe that he's never going to pay that money if he sits in jail on a remand. He's never going to be able to work. He's going to lose his jobs if he sits in jail on a remand. So I would request that the court consider allowing him out on a personal bond. At this point, there's no amount that he can afford to pay, and we have confirmed that. And this is also somebody that's on government assistance. So it's not like he's sitting on a bunch of money and using it for himself. He's working 2 jobs on government assistance and trying to support his family, which is large.
Well, he's got to show up to these. He can be out of money. He might have more kids than he can reasonably support financially. But that can all be explained to a judge in a courtroom. But if you don't show up, then you end up with remand orders in the file, right? Sir, do you know what a remand is?
No, I do not.
Okay, what that means is the current order in the file is that you sit in jail until your next court hearing, which would be May 15, over a month from now. That would probably impact your life rather substantially, right?
Yes, it would.
Okay, so do you get the importance of showing up to court?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, and if you're low on dollars and that's something you can work out, but you got to show up in order to work that out. It doesn't just happen.
You are correct.
Clear?
Yes, you are.
What's the arrearage in the 18 case?
That's $42,026. So 25% would be $10,000 basically for $12,000 personal bond with maybe a tether or something, Your Honor. And I wanted to apologize for my statement, Your Honor, and to the defendant.
So which statement was that, sir?
Well, calling a name out there isn't really professional or appropriate. It's just upsetting and I agree with Ms. Kirkland, you can support your children in other ways, but you can pay some kind of money over a 20-year period of time for kids. I don't think that's right. That's all.
Here's what we'll do, sir. I'm going to give you one more shot at this. We'll come back in here with another capias. We're just going to go with whatever that capias is. So bond in the 21 case will be $2,500 personal. Bond in the 18 case will be $15,000 personal. Next hearings on both cases will be May 15 at 9 a.m. in person in front of Judge Prentice Edwards in Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. Next hearing after that will be 5/22 for preliminary exam, also in front of Judge Edwards. Sir, I remind you, you could be spending the next month and a half sitting in Wayne County Jail, all right? So show up to the hearings.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. As to Mr. Simmons, there are 3 files. They are in order. They're going to be case 22-044-712, 24-044-285, and 24-055-832, State of Michigan versus Deontay Nicole Simmons, counsel.
Judge, always good to see you. Steve Vincent for the people, P71917.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kashava Kirkland on behalf of Mr. Simmons, who has been advised of his rights, wishes to stand mute and wait for formal reading.
Thank you. Court will enter a not guilty plea on all 3 files. Let me give Ms. Shive a breakout room and then we'll finish this up.
Is MDOC on, Your Honor? Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, here's your breakout. Okay, court will enter a not guilty plea in all 3 files. As to bond, please.
Magistrate, just to incorporate this, I was working last weekend. Mr. Simmons actually had two cases up before the court. They were both retail fraud. I believe one was a first degree, one was a second degree. One was from 21, one was from 24. In the 21 case, he was given a personal bond. In the 24 case, he was also given a personal bond, but Magistrate Boyer felt it appropriate to give him a tether as well. He actually has 6 open cases right now. So the 3 before you today, plus the 2 or 5, he still had one more retail fraud. I mean, Judge, I mean, just based on personal property, he's terrorizing businesses. I think in this one, his target is Home Depot. You know, it's non-assaultive on its face, but he just continues to do this. We have those 2 that are most recently of this year. So Judge, I could be asking for a cash bond. I don't know what that's going to prevent him from going to the Home Depot. But what I'm really requesting, Judge, is just some tether, some type of confinement, so he can't do this. Get through these cases, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But there are 6 that are open. So at the floor, Judge, we're asking for some type of monitorization here with home confinement. The people are just looking at this and just saying it's too much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. No objection to a personal bond. I would object to a GPS tether. Judge, all the cases before your honor today are cases that are alleged to have occurred in 2021. November and December of 2021. Warrants on 2 of those were not signed until this year. Warrant on 1 of them was signed in 2022. And the cases that were arraigned the other day, all but 1 of those were also 2021 cases. So I just argue that these cases have some age on them. I think it sounds like the one that was given a tether was maybe the more recent case. I don't believe that these 2021 cases have the same reason for that tether. He's lived in Michigan mostly all of his life. He's 2 children. He does work. He owns a hair salon and also does some side work in construction. These are non-assaultive. They're crimes of his circumstance, and I'm just requesting the court to allow him out. That way he can get back to working, so he can make money to support himself and his children and be able to afford things on his own. But these are older cases, so I'd request no GPS tether on these cases.
And what are his work hours?
Mr. Simmons, what are your work hours?
I normally work from 7 to 5.
7 a.m. to 5 p.m.?
Yes, sir. Sometimes to 6, or it depends on how my supervisor, because I work for a laboring company, so.
All right. What we'll do. There will be a GPS tether. On all 3 cases. Also, no contact with any Home Depot store. In the 22 case, bond will be 1,000 personal. GPS tether curfew is from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. And in the 24 case, sorry, the 24 misdemeanor case, same thing, no contact with any Home Depot. Curfew on the tether from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. Fine will be 1,000 personal. And on the 24 felony case, same conditions, no contact with Home Depot, Same curfew on the tether. Fine will be $10,000 personal. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, what's the date on those misdemeanor ones? The dates on the misdemeanor cases are May 29 for pretrial in front of, is it Bryant?
Yes.
In front of Judge Bryant. As to the felony case, future dates are April 17, probable cause conference, April 23rd, preliminary exam, both in front of Judge Jefferson here in 36th District Court. Thank you, sir. You can step aside.
Thank you.
Thank you.